Tomorrow morning, you should go down to the city council building and change things from both our names to just mine. Negras. No, girl. No, she don't have no Judy. Hello there, Bellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share to Facebook, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com. Today's looky is our TT Turban. We have a new addition, guys. This is the unicorn. Ooh, they come in pink and gray. Look at that shine. Ooh, don't you just want to get on the back of some kind of half man, half horse and just ride off into the sunset? And if you are not already a part of our book club, please remember to hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube. And for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, yes you, can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Now, let's talk about the untold story of Bury Me and Motown by Gordy Singleton. Listen, I'm going to be at station WCHB with Larry Dixon. Turn on the radio at 10 o'clock if you want to hear him play the song, Barry announced, as he sped out the house running late as usual. I quickly switched our numerous radios to WCHB. Looking forward to hearing Come to Me over the airways for the first time. Okay, Larry Dixon announced on the radio, we've got Barry Gordy at the station today with a fantastic record produced on his own Tamla Records called Come to Me by Marv Johnson. For anyone who has ever had a big dream, there are times when huge obstacles arise and it all seems impossible. During these bad times, gloom colors everything. Then suddenly the clouds pass and the victories and jubilation and glamour and success explode across the screen of your life. You better say that, Ray Noma, but it ain't your life, girl. It's Bird Gordy's life. Okay, y'all just wait. When I tell you Bird Gordy then hit her with the great goop, oh my God. This is the biggest caper in history. In the real world, good and bad things happen. You can count your wins and try to cover your losses. She's pregnant now, but she had a miscarriage before. Luckily, thankfully, Bird Gordy ain't that much of a DDMF. He was there when she actually, had to, do the thing with the baby. I don't even like talking about that stuff because that stuff be serious. One of the sad times was back in the first days of our money struggles. In the early fall of 1958, when I had a miscarriage, it had spurred me to write a song for him called When I Really Needed You. The song and the love that prompted it remained in my memory and often served to strengthen me, okay? Barry Gordy tried to encourage her to release the song on, Tamla, but she instead decided that she wanted to keep it private and her very own between her and Barry Gordy. I was carrying his child, no less. What was more, I was the co-architect of his dream. That's not my words, that's her words. I was the co-architect of his dreams. How many times have I told y'all, you never, ever get too comfortable in somebody else's dream, okay? Because that makes you expendable. We had done it. Marv Johnson's Come to Me had been an instant smash. You know what I want you to do is change the paperwork on Tumblr. Tomorrow morning, you should go down to the city council building and change things from both our names to just mine. Negras, no. No. No, girl. No. She don't have no Judies. You can go home and talk to your sister or your mammy or your pappy, because I know if she would have told her family about what Barry the Gordy was planning, they would have told her, hell no. Answer no. Ding! No, girl. I've been thinking about how it works. And you said yourself, we're not some mom and pop operation. Talk about turning a phrase of mine around. Well, that's how it looks. The way it is now. And it would be simpler to have it in one name. Why? He said for tax reasons. Girl, you could choose an ice cream sandwich over a bomb pop for tax reasons. You can walk to the left instead of the right for tax reasons. You could drive an Uber instead of a Lyft for tax reasons. You could put tax reasons on anything. You could paint your fingernails red instead of green for tax reasons, girl. Now I have very good hearing. I'm the lady with the perfect pitch. And for a second, I heard something very off-key. My veins went icy, and I felt as if the wind had been knocked out of me. Yeah. Yes. Had someone told him to do this? Someone in his family? Of course, girl. Of course. That was a trick of boo-boo. He got the money from his family. Okay, his family is savages. Okay, that was all the great goop, girl. No, don't get the money from them. Okay, you go on over there, get the money from my sisters, my pappy, and all of that. Okay, then that way his family has more control over the situation. Do you even know what the contract was when Barry family gave Barry Gordy the money in the first place, girl? What kind of love did he have if he needed this protection, leaving me unprotected? We do it to ourselves all the time. And especially that she is so young. She's like 21, 22. Barry Gordy is like 29, 30. And then I heard in my inner voice a stronger tune. We were not opponents. We were passionate allies. I swore by a gospel of faith and loyalty and trust. We built everything we'd achieved so far on those premises. I had to trust Barry in the matter or risk toppling the entire dream we shared together. Okay, I said in a small voice, the wind returning to my lungs. The next day, I went to the city court building and had new papers drawn up. Now, pause. Why do you have to do that? That's for him, okay? That's for his benefit. I wouldn't have done shit. I would have been like, okay, if you want to, surrender, okay? You could have been like, okay, all right, go ahead. But you do it. I'm not about to be shitted on and take you to the toilet. Sugar Ray is so in love with Barry the Gordy, okay? She ain't say nothing about that it was good D in this book so far. I could see it. She was like, ooh, when he took me down, he took me down. Ooh, that top piece was magnanimous. Ooh, the way that nothing like that. Do you hear me? And, sometimes us women, we get all twisted around when somebody take you down, okay? I mean, down, all right? That's how we are. But there's nothing in this book saying that he's doing anything for her that would make her, be so stupid, except for the fact she's believing in a dream. The next day, I went to the city council building and had new papers drawn up. As I gave away my legal entitlement to Tamla Records and Jobet Music, I ceased to question Barry's motives. Instead, I heard in my mind only what he had said after I'd agreed to do it. It's just a formality. Oh my God, putting on a condom is just a formality, girl. A ninja saying to you, while he getting in a groove, ooh, I love you. Ooh, I want you to have my baby. Ooh, will you marry me? Oh, yeah, I'm going to buy you a car. Ooh, I'm going to take you shopping tomorrow. It's just a formality. You're not supposed to believe the nigga while he doing it, girl. Elsie Frazier, a girl who worked at WCHB. She'd been calling Barry often. Generally, I was never jealous about Barry's evening forays into the nightclub circuit. Hanging with the top DJs, Larry Dixon, Larry Dean, Ernie Durham, Jolton Joe Howard, Bill Williams was one of the perks of having a hit song. Although this Elsie person worked in the business, my ears picked up an odd tone in Barry's voice every time she called. You sacrificing yourself, okay? And this ninja around here making girlfriends or friend girls. So one day, Elsie calls the house, okay? Sugar Ray is like, your girlfriend on the phone. No, she ain't. No, she ain't. But you know that's something that we would do. Your little ugly, fat, pig face, pig nose, pig foot, ankle like ham hocks girlfriend is on the phone. Barry goes, you know what? Let me take this garbage out right quick. I'll be right back. Raynoma said that that's something that Barry never does. He never takes the trash out. Pay attention. Pay attention. When you dealing with a man and you taking care of the primary residence, you know how it is, us women, especially us married women, or we're in a relationship, we will take care of the house from top to bottom. The only thing we asking you ninjas to do is to take out the goddamn trash. And when you don't do that, we be ready to take ninjas' heads off. Wait a minute, ninja. You mean to tell me I cook, clean, and fuck around here and you can't get your ass up off the couch to take the trash out? Ninja, no. So that triggered Sugar Ray to follow his ass, okay? Yeah, he took that trash out. He put it at the garbage and kept going, all right? To a phone booth, all right, down the street, child. I mean, fuck, I don't have time to tell you about what a phone booth is. Just Google it, okay? He taking it to the phone booth. She's standing in the wings, pregnant, watching this ninja talking on the phone, right? She gets back to the apartment before he do. All right. He come back in the house whistling. Okay. Now let me tell you something, women. It's all kinds of messages through this because we see ourselves. And the only reason why I know these things is because I've been through them before. I am not a man basher. All I'm saying to you is pay attention. Now listen to me. The only time a cheating man is ever happy is when both women are happy, or men, whatever it is. Okay. Dogs, cat, whatever it is. Okay. That's the only time a man is truly happy, because both his women are happy. If he not happy at home, or if the woman not happy at home, that bitch on the side, she ain't gonna be happy neither, because he's gonna be spending most of his time trying to get her back in the bag, trying to get home back in the bag. So the girl over there, she gonna be upset, okay? The only time a cheating man gets peace is when they both are happy. He thinking he good. Okay? So when he come back in the house, hi, Sugar Ray, what's going on? Sugar Ray looking at him like, what took you so long? Okay? Barry the Gordy sneaky ass was like, you don't trust me? How could you not trust me? I thought I earned your love. I've done nothing to you. You know how them ninjas do. I've done nothing to make you distrust me, Sugar Ray, nothing. What you did today was walk down to that payphone. I'm caught. You set down the garbage, then walk down the alley to a phone booth. Who'd you call, nigga? Did you call that bitch Elsie? Who'd you call? His expression went from surprise to nonchalant, to shame, to out and out hurt. Barry's hurt now changed my anger. I can't believe you did that. I'm sorry, I said to him as I saw him standing half-dressed, seething. Barry, I'm really sorry. It's just that ... He was walking out of the bedroom, shaking his head in disbelief. We'll never be the same. I don't understand you. We'll never be the same. Treachery. Come to Me peaked at number 6 on the Billboard R&B chart. Marv Johnson became an overnight sensation in Detroit and was soon in demand by the radio stations and local record bops. The Rayburn Voices appeared along with him in shows that were precursors of the legendary Motown reviews. There were events at the Abington Theater, which featured Marv Johnson, the Satin Tones, the Miracles, Mabel John, Eddie Holland, and the Teen Queens. Money, I'd whispered, holding my first royalty check, and it almost burnt my hands. The local distributors paid once a month, and UNA, United Artists, made quarterly payments from the national sales. It started pouring in, first slowly, then a landslide. Now you see why the nigga only wanted it to be in his name. Girl. Okay, they ain't rich, but they have enough money to buy themselves cars. Gordy, he ain't have time, or he ain't have the funds to buy a Cadillac, but what he did buy was a 59 Pontiac convertible that we purchased for $35. Sugar Ray decided that she wanted to get her old Scooby-Doo van for $1,200. Okay? Because she's not thinking about self. She's thinking about the greater good for the brand. Okay? Luckily, she did buy that because that's how they transported the groups to these different events. I think she said it was like a 9-seater or something like that. 6 months pregnant with the second child, we'd pile into the Volkswagen bus and headed off into the wee hours of the morning to New York City, home of the Apollo, where Marv Johnson and the band were going to play. The Apollo was the place to see the greatest black entertainers. Ella Fitzgerald, Billy Eckstine, Sarah Vaughan, Billie Holiday, and Charlie Parker. It was a black Carnegie Hall. Let me tell you how they treated them people at first, okay? So they're not going to go through the front door with the rest of the people. They're going to go through the back door, right? So they, at the venue, they're trying to get in the back door. It's old bellman in the back, old angry nigga, okay? He like, nah, I don't know you. I don't care if you Marv Johnson or whoever you say you are. I know you Marv Johnson. They don't have IDs back then. The bellman in the back was so rude that he said, I tell you what, why don't you just buy a ticket and come through the front door like everybody else, all right? I don't give a fuck who the Gordy is, Sugar Ray, Marv Johnson, the Satin Tones. Neither do I care about you, Smokey the Robinson with the green eyes. We don't know you here. We produced Marv Johnson and started yelling. Look at the name on the marquee. He sings Come to Me. Nope, couldn't let us in. By the time Barry finally found someone in the box office to vouch for us, our nerves were shot. Could you believe this guy, Barry asked me on the way up the 5 flights of stairs in our dingy, dinky dressing rooms, one for Marv and one for all the rest of us, the Rayburn Voices.
As our week-long stint sailed by, we were becoming favorites of the Apollo audience. Soon Marv was mobbed trying to get in the stage door with that old doorman still standing by unimpressed. Just before one of our last shows, Barry raced backstage to tell us a new unbelievable development. We were going to play Carnegie Hall.
A promoter who'd caught our Apollo act had selected Marv Johnson and the Rayburn Voices to perform the 50s rock and roll music section for a concert featuring different musical genres. We were going to be performing at Carnegie Hall. No, you, Marv Johnson, and everybody else was going to be performing. Barry the Gordy ain't. It was spring, ripe and fragrant 1959. A year had passed since Alice and I had traipsed timidly into Lucy's house to meet Barry and his little band of singers. Very soon, I hoped, looking down at my expanded stomach, I would give birth to a new family member. We'd gained one all-purpose member named Janie Bradford, a gal with a stupendous figure and a filthy mouth who doubled as a songwriter, lyricist, and a receptionist. Also, to my wholehearted pleasure, my brother Mike Osman had climbed aboard and given us both his musical and his accounting expertise. June 25th, 1959. It was a boy. We had a boy. A beautiful, bouncing baby boy with blonde hair and blue eyes. Now, I don't know back then if they knew that Berry the Gordy was related to the Jimmy Carter, okay, the president, all right, of the United States of America, okay, but he ain't president yet. He will be later on, right? But Berry the Gordy was like, who baby is this? I don't know why, black people think that we don't develop or create blue eyes and blonde hair. So many of us are born with that sandy brown hair, and then it darkens over the years. I think every child in my family was born with that, and then we have almost, it's very rare that somebody in our family does not have light eyes. I don't have light eyes, but my sister and my nephew does. But it kind of may skip a generation, but it's not hard to think of us with light eyes, okay? Because it happens. And Berry the Gordy, he's standing there like, where does blonde hair and blue eyes come from? Luckily, the baby looked just like Berry the Gordy, like a pug. That's what the baby looked like, a baby pug. That's not what the book say. That's what I say. If it looked like Berry the Gordy, it looked like a pug.
When the nurse came to ask what we were naming our child, Berry hadn't yet returned to the hospital. We had been so sure it was going to be a girl that we'd only selected the name Tamala, the same name, in fact, that Claudette and Smokey Robinson would give later to their baby girl. What's your name, little boy? I asked my newborn son. I already knew that he was a genius. Perhaps he could give me some inspiration. Big blue eyes looked up at me. Let's see. I wanted to name him for Berry, but Berry Jr. was already taken. So was Terry.
Now, so she picked up a newspaper, okay? And she said she went through the comics and, okay, so the newspaper is something that was released every day. It was a form of daily communication with the masses and the people, okay, or the media and the people. It was how we found out about world news, the weather, classifieds, if you was looking for some pussy or some dick, okay, or if you wanted to buy a dog. If you wanted humor, there was something called the comics, okay? Before all this pixelated animation type stuff that they have going on, people actually drew cartoons, okay? And they were in the comic section of a newspaper. So she's there looking through the newspaper, came across the comics, and found the name Carrie. Therefore, you have Carrie Gordy. Now, at this time, because Tamala Records and Joe Bat is expanding, right? She is in a house with a real estate agent. Sugar Ray is holding baby Curry, all right? The real estate agent is so in love with the baby Curry that she like, listen, anytime you need a babysitter, you just call me and I'm going to take care of this pretty red fine thing. Since we'd long since outgrown Gladstone, I was scouting for a new headquarters for Tamala. On a sweltering July Saturday morning, I spied a gray house trimmed in green with a for sale sign posted out front. Like so many others on the street, it was a fairly innocuous two-story family dwelling, but one structural distinction. A big showcase window gracing the front of the house had caught my eye. I called the agent. The house belonged to a photographer. The agent explained as I saw that it was already set up for doing business. A medium-sized office to the left of the reception area, and then, of course, the window, the photographer had used to display his pictures. After dragging my sister Kathy, who was now Kathy Bradfield, over to see the house, I got another vote of approval. Did you ask Kathy about whether or not you should take the damn Tamla records out of your name and just put it in Bird Gordy name? Answer no. You know why? Because she already knew that her family was going to tell her no, dummy. I'm sure, almost positive, that she did not go home and talk to her family about giving her hard work and effort away to bury Gordy. I'm sure of this. That's why I always say, my wife be like, stop saying that, stop saying business before love. Okay? Business before love, because that love will get you fucked up. I got another vote of approval. The location, she said, was ideal. A socially acceptable neighborhood. One of Kathy's priorities, of course, that had commercial zoning so that we could now operate our business legally. Just across the wide tree-lined street was a nursery school with a playground fully outfitted with swings, slides, and sandboxes. Okay, this is looking pretty good. Pops, Barry Gordy's pops, okay, also gave the thumbs up. West Grand Boulevard, even the street name, bespoke great things to come. $25,000 was the purchase price. A house for $25,000? Man, the housing market is ridiculous. They should be ashamed of themselves. West Grand Boulevard, even the street name, bespoke great things to come. $25,000 was the purchase price. Ronnie White of the Miracles, Richard Morris, Sammy Mack, John Oden were all a part of restructuring the home so that it would fit the purposes of Tamla Records. We painted the building white with black borders. Perfect, if I didn't say so myself. Next, I furnished the offices. Miss Ray, the sign man is here, Jamie hollered up the stairs to me. I jumped up from the desk to oversee the work. Barry had named our homestead, and it then occurred to me to order those big black letters to officially entitle the front of the house. I was about to burst. Barry, come and see the sign. He came out front with me, and as soon as he saw the partial banner, there was a huge grin and those teeth of his. So it was the teeth. It was the teeth, girl. It wasn't the D, it was the teeth that made you want to give your life over to the Barry. We stood on the sidewalk, not saying a word, and watched together as the last three letters were put in place. And then we read it in its unfolded glory. Hitsville, USA. Now began the legend of Hitsville. Now, if you have not already done so, please remember to like, share to Facebook, and subscribe, because it is so important to our success here on the YouTube. Now, remember this. The same people that you meet on the way up will always be the same people that you meet on the way down. My naysayers, my patron loves. You babies have a good one.